He tries so hard to do the right thing, uh, but for some reason he's unable to do it. People from some parts of the north of England would call him a dunderhead. As the saying goes, you just had one thing to do. You just had one job.
Mm.
But why did it all go sideways? Well, one could argue ignorance, not only by our celebrity, but also by his advisors. But I tend to think it's more like arrogance. So, okay, what am I on about? Who am I talking about? Well, it'll become not a surprise to know that I'm on about the Foreign Secretary, David Lammy. What was he thinking? He can't even be trusted to entertain the Vice President of the United States.
Well, yes.
With all that the Cotswolds has to offer, beautiful scenery, old churches, the country way of life, and I know because I spent some time in the village of Kirtlington when I was a young un, and just walking the streets was a pleasure, as each scene looked like one of those jigsaw puzzles, you
Yeah.
know. But Lammy, not being satisfied with just taking J.D. Vance and family sightseeing, he had to take him, for all intents and purposes, poaching. He took the Vance family fishing in private waters, which needed a fishing license, which of course he didn't have. So if they took any fish from the water and took them away, that would be stealing.
Mm.
I remember my dad going fishing, but even I knew he had to have a license. He used to go to a fishing lodge in the 70s.
Yeah.
Of course, after the act, he bought licenses to try and minimize the situation. But just as a taxi care,
Yeah.
as a taxi fare fiasco,
Mm.
he said he would pay the fare. So did he pay for the licenses? In that taxi
Yeah. I remember
fiasco,
that. Yeah.
he got the consulate to pay the taxi.
Mm.
And when they arrived in France, uh, and it all blew up, he said that he would repay the taxi fare to the
Yeah.
consulate. You know, if he did or not, I don't know.
Oh,
But
well.
either way, he would have done it just putting it on the expenses of the consulate. That's the sort of guy he is.
Yeah.
And like I said, of course, I'm sure he did so only because J.D. Vance told reporters that Lammy took him and his kids fishing. I'm sure that if Vance didn't mention the fishing trip, Lammy would have tried to economize his money and wouldn't have bought the licenses.
Right.
But either way you look at it, taking the Vice President of the United States poaching has got to be a bit embarrassing.
Oh,
I mean, really.
yes. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. I think it is a little bit more than word. I think there's actual pictures of them that went around the media of them. Yeah. The two lads together fishing. Yeah. I mean, JD Vance probably likes to fish. He comes to the countryside in the US. I don't know. Yeah. And you would imagine that someone in the British government administration would know that what the rules were. Um, yeah, it's like I say. I mean, I don't fish, but I know you had to have a fishing license. Yeah. Ignorance of the law is no defense, as we've often been told. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, okay, I partly grew up in the countryside and we'd know about these things. Yeah. If I grew up in an inner city, I wouldn't know. But yeah.
I did a recce on this thing
Mm.
about perhaps ignorance is bliss and all that, but apparently in England and Wales,
Mm.
if you fish anywhere,
Yeah.
you need to have a license.
I thought you could go sea fishing without one, but yeah.
No, I'm
Um,
talking about
yeah.
inland. I'm talking about
Inland. Yeah. Yeah.
rivers and lots and
Inland. That's what I mean. Yeah. So, um,
a little bit like driving a car.
yeah, but
Got to have a license.
let let's be honest about David Lammy. What does he really know about
Well,
anything? I mean, okay, we've for a year we've given the guy the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's got hidden talents or skills we are unaware of. Yeah,
in that case, they really are hidden.
yeah. I mean, I'm afraid I formed an opinion of him, and I really I don't like to form an opinion of my of any my leading politicians. Yeah, really, because I want them to be competent and be successful in the job they're doing.
Mm.
Well, I say mine. I mean, I don't live in the UK anymore, but yeah, I still have a vote there. I've still got obviously relatives there. But it's a yeah, I read that the other day and I thought um I saw the picture and then yeah, whether or not I mean the trouble is now with pictures you don't know if they are AI generated or something else, yeah. And I thought, yeah, two bros there together sharing an outdoor activity. That's very nice, you know. If you don't mind me saying, I wouldn't have thought that yeah, probably David Lammy was an avid fisherman. I might give him that. And apparently he didn't manage to catch anything, but that's not uncommon when you go fishing. It's a game of luck. It's a relaxation factor. Yeah.
But it looks like all the luck was on J.D. Vance and his kids' side because
Mm.
they're the ones that caught all the fish.
Well,
You
he
could
knows what.
give Lammy a hint. Put bait on your hook, you dick.
I'm sorry. When you said that, I was yeah. I'm not going to pass the joke that just went through my mind. But yeah, yeah. I mean, don't forget. I mean, J.D. Vance would know what he was doing. Yeah, with regards to fishing. I mean, in this
I
instance,
don't
yeah,
know the guy. Mm.
yeah. I mean, yeah. As I imagine, yeah, he's probably an out. I think he's an outdoorsy type of person, really. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people live where he lives would be. He'd understand the countryside. Yeah, I mean, I found it as an amusing story. Um, I mean, I could give David Lammy the benefit of the doubt these things happened. Um, but I'm going to be quite on. Well, yeah, I mean, even if you were there as security or something else, you would, and you knew that you needed a license. It's not something you would necessarily go up to a government minister and say, "Have you got a license to be doing this?" Yeah.
But
Um,
the government ministers are the ones that make the laws in the UK. They should be privy to this. I'm sure. Imagine all the times that Lammy, if he went fishing before this time, he didn't have a license.
Look, he's probably never been fishing before in his life. I mean, I'm making an assumption here. Yeah, I know. I'll say that. I don't know the guy. If he is an avid fisherman, he would know that he needed a license. Yeah,
You,
let's put it that way. He saw it's all photo opportunity with these people. It's got nothing to do with what they like doing. Yeah.
you should have been at that rally with Donald Trump with the guy on the roof because you could have taken a bullet for him as well.
Well,
Yeah.
um,
Instead of trying to take a bullet for Lammy.
I'd sooner not be in a position where I have to take a bullet for anyone, if you don't mind me saying. But yeah, yeah.
That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, I like to play devil's advocate and think, well, yeah, how could this? Don't forget, I come from a project background. Yeah, I wouldn't say I was project manager. That'd be yeah, I've done that assisted, and yeah, you think of so like they'd have created an itinerary. Yeah, JD, you don't take the vice president around in an yeah, somebody somewhere would have to see an itinerary, and that what you might do is you say, okay, what could be the problem with us doing that? Yeah,
Right.
do we
That's
have
what these advisors are for.
yeah. I mean, I'm going to be careful because this could be, yeah. Unless somebody dismissed it, oh, we won't worry about it. We don't need it. It's a bit late now. Yeah,
Which is where the arrogance comes into it, sir.
yeah. Now, who did that? It might not have been David Lammy, done it. Let's imagine that David Lammy has never been fishing before in his life. He wouldn't necessarily know. Yeah, um, that somebody around him says, "Oh, we can get away with this one, boy." Possibly. Yeah. I'm not saying this is what happened, by the way, legally, but I'm just sort of saying I'm 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 trying to think how things can go wrong, because if you think how things went wrong, you do a lessons learned, and then you review the situation, and then it won't happen again. Yeah. So
Well, if you sack that advisor, then it wouldn't happen again.
or you put the advisor or the advice. Well,
He was with the vice president of the United States, sir. It isn't like he was with his next door neighbor.
yeah, I would argue a document missing and David Lammy being £2,100 out of pocket is not a in the scheme of things not a serious issue. It's not a security issue. Yeah, nobody's life was threatened. Yeah, um, it was a civil infringement at best. Yeah, the reason that this is paid is for environmental agencies and obviously to maintain the environment in the country. Okay. Um, in the scheme of things, it's relatively minor. As a news story and demonstrating competence,
It
it's
would have
quite
been
major.
if it wasn't J.D. Vance, but it was.
Yeah.
For you to take the vice president of the United States poaching, knowing it or not,
Yeah.
and the news get hold of it, that's good. Like I said, it's really embarrassing, man.
So what you're saying is David Lammy has actually made the vice president of the US a felon in the United Kingdom.
You are.
So,
People have been hanged for doing less than that.
well, yeah, we'll go back 400 years in
Yeah,
fairness. Yeah,
I
yeah.
know, but
But yeah.
you know,
Um, mind you, granted, what would an American be doing in England 400 years ago? But yeah, that'd have been a serious question in itself. But yeah, um, yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, it's a humorous story. Um, I don't think it's humorous. I think it's highly hilarious, actually.
yeah,
Um, as I said, I'm trying to put some gloss on it and say I like it as a story because I think it's so British, you know. Oh, we've made a mistake. I will rectify it after the event. Yeah. Um, the fact that the guy went out to try and buy some licenses to make it good after the offence had been committed. Yeah. It's like being caught without a driving license and passing your license the next week and saying, but I have a license now. Yeah. I didn't break any laws then. Yeah. Um, I think well the £35 fee for the license, and he's going to probably be potentially paying £2,100 on top. Yeah, that was a very expensive fishing trip to be not even managed to catch any fish for Mr. Lammy. Yeah. Um,
as as was his taxi ride from Italy to France. You know, if it had just given the guy 50 euros more
yeah,
in France,
yeah,
you know, it would have been nobody would have known about it. But he decided to go all bolshy on the guy,
yeah.
and that's when the newspapers got hold of it. You know what I mean?
Ah, I think I think
It's not a very good judge of situations, is he?
I could argue you're being very unfair on him, sort of picking him up on all these little errors and mistakes of, very.
Little errors. Okay, okay.
I mean, anyone would clumping these together would think the guy is totally incompetent.
Yes.
You know, it's a bit
I don't
unfair.
I don't see your argument there.
No, I can't sit here and let you because he's made a lot of sequential errors, really sort of broadly in yeah. Yeah, I can't have you sort of condemning the man. I mean, the man was he the foreign secretary or something? Yeah,
Yes.
weird. Yeah, I mean, you know, I imagine the Home Secretary has just phoned him up at some point and said, "What the hell have you just been done to me now? This is a major embarrassment." And David Lammy probably went, "What?
Yeah.
What is a fishing what?" And then probably the colour drains from his cheeks when he's just realised that he's now made yeah, J.D. Vance
An
a felon.
international fool of himself
Well, yeah. I'm
again.
yeah, I mean I'm just wondering what J.D. Vance must be feeling. I mean, yeah, he could be
He's
potentially
probably
questioned.
he's going back to the US. He's probably laughing his socks off. He's probably thinking this bloke's a dick.
Well, no, but let's okay. He'll have diplomatic immunity, actually, possibly. Yeah, I don't know the law will go, um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, strictly speaking, he could be questioned by the police on his if he ever returns back to the UK. Mr. Vance, yeah. Unfortunately, last time you were in the UK, you committed this act of poaching. Yeah.
You're on the watch list. Let me get my rubber gloves on.